From north to south to west to east, no one is massaging William Samoei Ruto anymore. They have decided that if this is not the time to tell William Ruto enough is enough, then there is no any other time to do this. When the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops rejected millions of shillings that William Ruto and the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja had donated in one of the Catholic churches in Kayole, everyone is shocked. I understand that the M-Pesa bishops who are used to brown envelopes are dumbfounded, they are confused, they are wondering how the Catholic Church could come up with such a decision to reject money. If there is one thing that has confused our country, it is the love of money. It has confused the church so much that the church has always remained silent when things are going wrong. I don't belong to the Catholic Church, but I must tell you that I love what they're doing. I always love people who have got a stand and a position. Once they have taken that position, they have remained with it. How much money did they reject? Because this has been going viral, but there are others who maybe are listening to this news for the first time. They rejected 5.6 million donated by President Ruto and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. And this was announced by the Archbishop Bishop Philip Anyolo. And in a statement, he said the funds that are already received will be returned. You can imagine, zile wako nazo watarudisha. And because President Ruto donated 600,000 to the choir, that is more than $500,000 to the choir. There was this 2 million to the construction of the father's house, along with a promise of an additional 3 million and a parish bus. That was such a good promise. And Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja had also contributed 200,000. This is the statement. I just want to read part of it. Archbishop Anyolo was saying, politicians are most welcome to attend church for their spiritual nourishment, but they are encouraged to do so as ordinary Kenyans without leveraging their political gain. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to read further. Can you imagine a church sitting down through the conference of the bishops and they say hatutaki pesa? It cannot be that our Bishop Muheria is criticizing, is saying this and that. We have taken a stand that this government is taking us to the wrong trajectory. Then they come and bribe us with money. We are not going to behave like the other, churches that would pretend, but they take money. This was bribery, and they have rejected it. Aren't you happy that we have people who can stand in front of William Ruto and tell them, we are not going to take it anymore? This is humiliation. Atubembelezi punda kwa mteremko. Now, when this happened, the attention has turned to Raila Odinga. Partly because Raila had taken a position that Ruto was bad, Ruto had stolen his victory, and so he didn't even recognize the legitimacy of Ruto's presidency. Then all of a sudden, he changed his stand. And many have been alleging that his pockets were oiled well. They have given us reasons that, I went to help William Ruto because Gachagua wanted to topple the government. The second reason why the attention is turning to Raila is because he was the face of opposition. And I'm not saying in any way that Raila was born to be in the opposition. He's got every right to support whichever part. But it's like we have left the opposition to some quarters like the church. There are some clergy that have decided that they're going to help Kenyans fight for the expansion of the democratic right. We know the Kenya Commission of Human Rights is doing a good thing. The Law Society of Kenya doing their best, and of course, a host of many other lawyers who are constantly in court to fight for our rights. The ODM party is still telling us that they are in opposition, yet we know that they are siding with the government. Let me ask you, did Raila make the best decision to join the government? Because we know that some 4 members of the ODM, senior members, were donated to William Ruto. Raila calls them experts. John Bad is about to return the rejected Finance Bill 2024. He's called an expert. Wandai is already massaging Adani deal, and Adani has taken over in the energy sector. We are told they are experts. Did Raila make was it the best choice for Raila Odinga to join the government? Because William Ruto is facing such a kind of rejection from people who welcomed him. The people who rejected him are now in government. I want us to look at this. Please tell me whether you feel he made the best decision. I'm told from some quarters that Raila regrets this decision, because things have changed so much that if Raila was still fully in the opposition, he would have, stood a better chance of winning the next election. Before the Gen Z's protest, ladies and gentlemen, if you asked many, they would tell you that our best choice, the only man who can give Ruto a run for his money. Forget all this chest thumping that William Ruto defeated the deep state. And I know anytime you tell someone who is a Ruto adherent, they will tell you that Ruto defeated the deep state. But if you look at the circumstances, then you will realize that the only reason why William Ruto defeated the deep state was because there was part of the deep state that was not with Uhuru Kenyatta. And I want to ask you this question, just asking. Why do you think Monica Juma was re-elected or reappointed into the government of William Samoei Ruto? Yes, she was sitting at the part as part of the very trusted members of the cabinet. Your guess could be as good as mine. And I want to tell you just 3 reasons why Raila has made a grave mistake by supporting William Samoei Ruto, and why Raila could be regretting. Raila is still a politician, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's going for the AU seat. It is politics. Anatongoza wale wa marais wengine wamkubali. He's going to sell his policies the same way he was selling policies to Kenyans. So he remains a politician. Before the Gen Z's protest, many believed in him. And of course, there are few, or rather his supporters, that still believe in him. Let me tell you, number one, Wafula Chebukati was the face of the electoral malpractice. Wafula was full of himself. He never feared anyone because William Ruto had assured him protection. And during the Supreme Court hearing, the presidential case between Raila and Ruto, there was this question that came up. How comes the chairman is so big, is so powerful, that he can make decisions without consulting the other commissioners? Because we are told Chebukati was making decisions without consultation. As long as Boya Mulu and the other guy agreed, he would go ahead with that decision. We are informed, for example, that he called the other commissioners and told them, I'm announcing the results. The commissioners were asking him, why don't we just try and verify a little what you want to do? And he told them, I want to read the results. So Chebukati is gone. The whole of the commission, in fact, as we speak, we don't have even one commission. We have got 11 pending by-elections just because the IEBC, as currently constituted, cannot conduct any elections. So Raila would have stayed and fought for the reforms in the IEBC. For example, they would have looked at how last election was bungled and maybe made it clear that the IEBC chair cannot announce the results if more than half reject that election. Because we had 4 against 3. They would have tried to look at what happened and rectify. And Raila would have ensured that as we go to the next election, the IEBC is reformed, the chairman has got his or her roles clearly cut. He would have ensured that the person who will be the IEBC and the commissioners are not pocketed. But he left it in the hands of William Samoei Ruto. What we hear is that they're going to support William Ruto until 2027. The IEBC is no more. It is a blank check. It is you to write what you want. People know very well that this is what happened. They would have tried to guard against what happened. Number two, the boisterous bully, our prefect Meg Whitman, played a very pivotal role in electoral malpractice. She was in the Bomas where verification and tallying was taking place, something that we've never seen before. A diplomat, an ambassador, would always wait to be invited when the declaration of the final result is being given out. She was there. Now, after the Democrats were defeated and Donald Trump came in promising to let people go back to the Bible because people had rejected the Bible. Donald Trump promised to restore order and sanity. There was confusion and error. Joe Biden had allowed LGBTQ so much that there are children who were brought up to believe that they were in wrong bodies. You are created a girl or a lady, you feel you should be a man. You are created a man, you feel that you're in a wrong body, you need to go for surgery to become a man. And with that, the mess, the people who sat on the table, ile kamati ya roho chafu, had to go. Meg Whitman has resigned. And Donald Trump would be giving us another ambassador who we believe cannot be as bad as Meg Whitman. And Raila should have waited a little longer and complained to the US that you interfered in our election so that we bring someone, we start afresh. He didn't do that. He rushed. Number three, people have rejected William Ruto. The mamambogas, the hustlers, watu wa boda boda, the church. No one is supporting William Samoei Ruto except the ODM now. In light of this, people are going to look for an alternative leadership. And who else? It was supposed to be Raila Amolo Odinga. He has fought for the democratic space. It would have been the next apparel. Many people now don't like him because they say when Gen Zs cornered William Ruto, Raila went to his rescue. I know you could be asking me that if Ruto had gone, maybe Gachagua and all that, he would have allowed them to continue. Maybe Ruto would not go, but they would have been fighting with Gachagua. They chose themselves. And even if Ruto had gone, Gen Zs did not say that they wanted Rigathi Gachagua. They were going to insist that we go for a re-election. But Raila rushed. With all this rejection, people were looking for an alternative voice. Raila used to give us dossier, the oil to government oil deal, the Mtihani dossier. Gen Z had rejected William Ruto. Everyone had rejected William Ruto. Raila was supposed to be the next person as an alternative. Number three, Mount Kenya, who largely voted for William Samoei Ruto, rejects William Ruto. And some of them were saying that maybe it was time to give Raila one term because of his age. Maybe it is time we went back to Uhuru and tell him, Mzee Pole, ulitukanya na tulikataa, you warned us. Maybe it was time they were going to tell Raila, we are ready to reciprocate for the last time. We have heard you. We rejected you for nothing. Now, even if you look for Raila, he's no more. He's going for the AU seat. He has abandoned the cause. And to me, Raila made a big mistake by joining William Samoei Ruto. I know people are happy about the appointments at the cabinet, but they don't suffice. Raila had won that election. And I'm sure Raila stood a better chance in the coming 2027 general elections, if at all he had not joined the government. The very person who stole his victory, the very person who killed his Azimio supporters on the streets, the very person who killed Gen Zs. That is what they said. Those are not my words. William Ruto is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. And when the police, runs riot, brutality on innocent protesters, then whom do you blame? Those are not my words. The Azimio even wrote a letter to The Hague mentioning William Ruto and the former Inspector General, Japheth Koome. So they believed it was this government that killed their people. Then they embraced the government and they're no longer talking about the justice for those who are killed. And from where I sit, Raila made a mistake. It is a mistake that he would regret, because I believe it was a rushed decision. He should have waited. This was his best moment. He should have taken a stand like that of the Kenya Conference of the Catholic Bishops. When you say Ruto is bad, he remains bad. When you say we are looking for electoral justice, it remains so. When you say we are looking for economic justice, it remains so. That is the reason why people are comparing Raila's stand to the position of the Catholic Church. Tell me, did he make a mistake? Was it the best choice? And is there room for him to come back, ladies and gentlemen, before 2027?